Welcome to another computer video tutorial from thehelpspot.com, where if you need a computer tutorial or a computer video tutorial created, we will make it for free. Head to thehelpspot.com now and get your free tutorial. Now on to today's topic. In this Excel tutorial series for beginners in Excel, we're going to take a look at Excel in a different way. Instead of working through an example spreadsheet and performing all of the actions that Excel can do on the spreadsheet, which can be helpful, what I'm going to do in this series is I'm going to go through the menus in Excel and show you what the items in the menus do. I find that with people that I've worked with in the past, that having a big picture of the software makes it easier to use and makes you feel more comfortable with the software because now you feel that you can wrap your arms around it. So before we get to the menus, let's first talk about the big picture. What is Excel? Excel is a spreadsheet, and we use a spreadsheet to calculate information, to add columns, to make statistical calculations, financial calculations, create graphs. We can sort and we can even analyze data with Excel. And we can even use Excel data as a stepping point to work with a database. Excel is not a database, and databases have specific functions, but we're not going to get into that now. Just a couple of real basic things first. First, every Excel spreadsheet is made up of a cell. Now, I've just clicked on a cell, and this cell is A1. This cell is, I clicked on a row, is B2. I'm clicking again, A2. So each of these cells in Excel, each cell, all the cells together make up a worksheet. And we look on the bottom here, and we have sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Of course, there's no difference now because they're all blank, but all of these worksheets make up a workbook. So your Excel file, whatever it is, here we go, book3.xls, our Excel file is made up of these 3 different worksheets. We can have different information on each worksheet. So again, we have cells, and the cells make up a worksheet, and all of the worksheets make up a workbook. And the workbook is the same as an Excel file. So let's now go ahead and take a look at the file menu. What you'll find here, by the way, this is the toolbar, and it's very similar to any Office application. If you hover over it, it will actually tell you what it does. But in Excel, in any Microsoft Office program, you'll find the toolbars are shortcuts, or they replicate the commands available in the file menu, or edit or view or any of the other menus. So let's now talk about the file menu. Let's click File. The first thing I want you to see here is these double down arrows. You can see how it just expanded. That means there's more. If we look at Edit, let's find another menu here. It expanded all of them. Let's go, there we go again. Let's click that and it will expand. So now let's take a look at the file menu. The first option is New, which is pretty straightforward. Let's click New. When I click New, we get the new worksheet workbook dialog box, which will let us create a new workbook. If we click here on Spreadsheet Solutions, there are some pre-formatted ones that we could use, some templates we could create. But let's create a new one. Let's go to Workbook. Now we've created a new workbook. Notice how it says Book 4. It's actually a new file. So now let's type some, I'm going to add some data. Again, you don't have to copy this, don't do this. This is just to show you something. I added some data, which you'll learn how to do later. Let's go ahead and save it. So File, we come down. We'll come to Open in a minute, Save. And let's call this Solar System. And let's click Save. Good. So now I have an Excel file, a workbook called Solar System, with the first worksheet in it. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to now look at the other choices that we have. We did New. We have Open, Close, and Save. We did Save. Let's close this. So we'll go to Close, and now let's open it up again. File, Open, where is it? Solar System, Open. So now we've opened it up. So now we've gone through the New to create a new spreadsheet, a new workbook, Open to open one up, Close to close it, Save. Let's look at Save As. Save As is an interesting thing. What Save As will do is will basically let you make a copy. Let's say, for example, that I had Pluto in here, and this was an older, we got rid of Pluto a little while ago, no longer a planet. But we had some data here. I'll make this up. We have some data. Doesn't really matter. We'll pop some numbers here. Fine. But I don't want to save over my original, because I like to have the original solar system file. So let's do this. File, Save As, and we're going to call the solar system plus Pluto. So I'm saving it as something else. So now you can see I have a spreadsheet here, Solar System plus Pluto. And it's a little different than our original because it has Pluto. But now let's go ahead and open up our original one, just Solar System, and see. We click Open, and let's go to Solar System. And you can now see that I've opened the file that had Pluto. So I kept everything I wanted from my original spreadsheet. But again, I didn't want to mess with this. In case I messed up this Pluto one, I wanted to save it. So I did Save As. Then, of course, if I decided that I really like this Pluto one, I can clearly delete the Solar System one and keep the Solar System with Pluto file. But again, that doesn't matter. And now for the last thing in the file menu, let's come back down here. Excuse me, the last thing in that section, we have Save As. Save as a web page. You probably won't use that often. Saving the workspace we're not going to get into. Page setup. Let's look at page setup. When you click on page setup, it gives you the options to set up the page. We can do a portrait or landscape. And these are basically printing options that we can talk about. The margins, the header, and the footer. This is all printing stuff. We can do a print preview. You can click here to zoom in, click to zoom out. And notice now, of course, I have this page delineation here. Excel will show me where my page would end. One of the complaints about Excel is that it's very difficult to paginate in Excel, and that is true. Let's come down and see the rest of these options. We have print area, which is, we'll get into it another time. That's for how to print preview. Again, the print dialog box, which we see. We're not going to print it to a PDF, but it doesn't matter. You can choose your printer. Let's get out of that. And send to, you can send it to the mail. I usually use it to attach. Properties we don't get into. And the last thing I want to talk about here, these are the last use, the frequently used or remembered files. So if you quickly want to bring something up, instead of using open, see I opened up plus Pluto now. I want to go back to Solar System without Pluto. You can see that this is this frequently used or last used files. This allows you to quickly access your last files. So in this tutorial we covered the very, very basics of Excel, and we looked at the file menu. In the next tutorial, what we're going to do is talk about the edit menu and a little bit about what the things you can do with the edit menu. Excel is an easy program, but it does take time to use, and you shouldn't get frustrated. If you have any questions, we need a tutorial created about Excel for something specific you want to do, visit us at the Help Spa, www.helpspa.com. We can create a regular or video tutorial to help you learn.